Okay, well, I hope this is recording. I had a request from someone to make a video that details more about how I think that I came to lose weight so rapidly, and also to talk about how I fluctuated so much. If you've seen my previous video where I talk about my stats, I posted some pictures of myself, and if you could see, within the past 10 years I've been fluctuating up and down somewhere between 20 to 50 pounds just within 6 months to a year. I tend to do that a lot. I don't know, I guess there's a lot of things that I think contributed to my weight gain. I feel that it started off when I started college, and I don't think it was just because of school. I think it was because I was in college. I was in a relationship that turned out to be very toxic for me. And I didn't want to see that for a long time, and I continued to just allow myself to hide, I guess. And I guess if this video gets a little too intense, just feel free to close out. But I think that when I was asked the question to talk a little bit more about everything that has contributed to my weight gain, I can't talk about it without really talking about that relationship that I was in. When I was 18, I found a boyfriend, and my family really never approved of him. He was a high school friend, and we were together all through high school. No, the end of high school and all through college. So when it started, I think at 18, I never went over 110, 115. That was my average. And when it started, our relationship was good, but throughout, maybe about a year later, the person I was with cheated on me, and it just, from there on, our relationship became very, it started being verbally abusive, and then proceeded to getting physically abusive and emotionally abusive in every way. And all at the same time, I was still trying to finish my degree. And throughout the process, I think that he was extremely possessive and jealous, and every time I tried to dress up, or every time I tried to even cut my hair, put on some makeup, he would think that I was doing it for someone else, and it would create a big fight. So I eventually stopped caring about how I dressed, what I looked like. I remember one time, and I laugh about it now because, I don't know, I guess that's what helps me get through it, but there was one time when he had bought me a pair of shoes, and because I packed them in my bag to take to the dorms, he got very angry, and he grabbed them and threw them out the window just because he didn't want me to wear them in front of anyone else, I guess. It got down to the point where he wanted to know what bra, what underwear I was wearing. And throughout all of this, I definitely lost my self-esteem. I felt like I was losing my family for a long time because they didn't agree with the relationship, yet I continued to be there and kept thinking that things were going to change. And I was also still going to school full-time, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to accomplish. And I think that I excelled at school because it was a way for me to escape from all the madness that was happening in my personal life. So instead, I mentioned that I gained like 50 pounds my first year, and yeah, I think I went from 115 to maybe like once, oh, I don't know, like 170, maybe even more. I got to the point where I wasn't weighing myself, and I think it took up till my mom telling me that she couldn't take it anymore, that she couldn't bear knowing that I was being hurt and that she couldn't do anything to stop it. So it took that, like the fear of having to lose my mom, for me to realize that I needed to get out of that relationship. It took a lot that I don't feel comfortable to discuss. I know some people think that, you know, it's a good thing to talk about it because there might be someone out there that may have experienced something similar. But I'm pretty determined on what I want to do and when I want to do something. So my escape was school. As soon as I graduated from my bachelor's, I went on to graduate school, and I already knew it was going to be hard, and I had a passion to be able to work with people that are mentally ill and in part of the forensic system. So I decided to do 2 master's degrees at the same time. And again, I think it was another way for me to escape all the pain and the low self-esteem that I was feeling. And I excelled at school, and I am grateful every day. There's no regrets on how much schooling I went through. But I think in that process, like, I was going to school, I was staying up late, doing papers, I was sitting for long periods of time. And then when I finally had downtime, I would be so depressed, and I would feel sad. I didn't at the time think I was depressed, but I just didn't feel like I had the energy to do anything. After my first year of graduate school, I decided to join Weight Watchers, and I went up and down in weight. I think the lowest I went with them was 50 pounds, but then within a few months I would gain it back. I seemed to eat for comfort. It was the only thing that made me feel good, I guess. So I would eat, and it was a time where I was able to socialize with people. So my friends, like, if they invited me to lunch or they invited me somewhere, like, I thought that was a good time for me to socialize. So I was eating, and I just wasn't careful of my portion control. So I don't know, to answer your question, I hope this answers the question. There's a lot of things I feel contributed to my weight gain. I think that the biggest part of it was that I was in an abusive relationship, and I think I satisfied my needs by being able to eat, and I also found that the more weight I gained, people weren't going to notice me, or guys weren't going to look at me, and that way the guy I was with wouldn't get mad or jealous. There were a lot of hurtful things said, a lot of things that I think even to this day, with help of therapists, with me having had succeeded at my goals with education, all of that, there's still times where I think about it, and I think sometimes I've gone through that process where I am not sure how much value I give myself, and it's something that I'm working on. It's something that is continuous, and so from 18 to, so he was my best friend through high school, and then from my senior year to the age of 21, I was in that relationship. After that, I had other relationships, but I think it just didn't feel right. And I always, for some reason, felt insecure, or felt that at times maybe a lot of people that I've known in the past always tell me, like, you used to be so beautiful, or you used to be, I remember how pretty you were, I remember I wanted to be with you. Those kind of comments were, instead of making me feel beautiful, I think they were actually making me see myself as in a more negative way. So I fluctuated a lot. I think I'm just kind of, I keep going back. I was thinking of writing notes about this, but then I decided I could just come up here and talk about what's in my mind and what I feel is something that has led to my weight. I'm actually going to, I decided, I'm going to read something, because even though I've been in previous relationships before, recently I experienced the same thing, and I think that's when I decided that I'm going to do this for me. I'm doing it not because of a relationship, not because of whatever anyone thinks that I should weigh. But I remember a recent relationship that I was in for 3 years. There were times where he was a great guy, but there were times where he made comments about my weight that I never really thought would affect our relationship as much. But at the end, like after dating for 3 years, you just start wondering, like, well, are we going to get married? Are we going to move forward? Like, what are we doing? So he mentioned that he couldn't move forward in the relationship because I never lost the weight he wanted me to lose. And I remember coming home. We had already broken up, and I don't know why we had the conversation anyway, but I remember coming home and crying on my brother's lap, because I never would have thought that a relationship could end because of my weight. And I see it now. I value myself. I think that I believe that I'm pretty. I believe that I'm smart. I believe that I have a great heart. I'm very caring and loving of others, but to know that someone pushed me away because of my appearance was very hurtful. And after crying on my brother's lap, I came to my room and I started writing. So I'm going to read a little bit about what I was writing that day, because I think I'm just rambling on and on. So I wrote, "Why now? I can't even remember how many times I've tried to stick to a healthy lifestyle with the goal to lose weight, but each time I lose sight of the reasons why, and I go back to old habits. Today I found this journal, and it immediately caught my eye, and I began to think of all the goals I have for my personal life." This is what it looks like. I hope you can see it. "I seem to succeed at careers and educational goals, but personal ones seem to be ignored or forgotten. I'm tired of starting over, and I am ready to make myself a priority. My weight loss goal has been a huge reality check, because my lifestyle led to me getting back to a weight I had promised myself never to return to. Sadly, I have regained the pounds I had lost, and along with it, I have developed a negative view of myself. I love myself, but there are times when I wonder if my life would be different or more complete if I was not overweight. I recently found out that I lost a person I truly loved because he was unhappy about my weight, and it shattered me to pieces. Although I know I don't deserve that, but I can't help but wonder what else I've lost because of it. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing this for me because I want to feel healthy, confident, and beautiful, and not wonder what else I'm losing out on in life. I'm taking this one day at a time, and I will keep myself accountable." And yeah, that was it. Then I talked a little bit about a few other things, but when I read it back to myself, I cried again because there is a lot of pain that maybe I just haven't addressed. So I'm working on it like everyone. I think I'm a work in progress, and I know that there's, if you believe in God, I believe in God. I think that God has great plans for me. And, you know, I just haven't gotten there. It's not the end of the journey. It's only the beginning. So I hope that if you stayed watching this long, thank you. And I hope that answers your questions, Jennifer, about what I felt contributed to my weight gain, or what I've been going through, because it seems, I guess people think, oh, you know, I seem to have it put together, and overall I do. I'm happy. Like, now I have a great relationship with my mom and my brother. I've excelled in my career, and I'm happy. Like, I have my doggies that I love so much. I'll have to introduce them to you soon, but here's a picture of, this is Toby. I don't know if you can see. And this is my little Lucky. And Lucky's 8 years old, and Toby is 5. So I'm very blessed. I think that but I know that with this journey that I'm going to go through, I'm sure that I'm going to have more confidence, and I don't want to feel that my weight is what is causing me to lose out on having a family, being in a relationship, or in any other thing. So that's it. I love you all, and thank you all for supporting me, and for subscribing to my channel. I've noticed that there's a few more new subscribers recently, so I'll try to keep in touch in between, and I'm hoping that I have good news for you within 2 weeks. I'm waiting for the insurance right now, so I'll talk to you soon. Bye.